House of the Dragon. How'd you like it?
It was
Long.
okay. The show had a very hard task for me, which was I am so disconnected from Westeros.
Are
and
you? Why?
Because the way after spending a decade of my life with that show,
Beautiful decade.
it was.
Yeah.
The way it ended, it was just like I
Stop
felt
it.
so
I need you to
unfulfilled.
stop. I need everybody and you to stop beating the hell out of that last season.
Well, first of all, if we're beating it, it's because it's a dead horse, not because it was like redeemable
But you have
or
to
like somehow
understand,
good.
like, when they're making the show, they were told, like, you got to wrap this up. How you got to do it?
The
Bam, bam, bam.
The actress that played Arya recently
Yeah.
had in an interview where she was like, "Yeah, season 8 definitely."
Yeah, we all didn't like it, but you know what? It didn't ruin the entire series.
It kind of did. It kind of did. If the payoffs for every storyline were something that were like not palatable for almost everyone that watched the show.
Okay, anyway. So let's ignore that.
The show had a hard task for me, which
Okay.
was reconnect me and make me care about Westeros again. And it succeeded in
Okay.
a number of ways, even though I hated several aspects of
All
the
right,
show.
so you want to start with your here? What you want to give me a dislike? What was it? What was your biggest gripe with this
Ooh,
show?
boy, okay. There are certain cardinal rules when you make a show to me.
Okay,
Right? There's certain things that you cannot do if you want it to be successful, in my opinion. And I think one of them is a main actor or actress swap.
She just aged.
Exactly. When I feel like
kidding,
that's
I fucking hated
it was
that.
almost to the point where I was like, I can't watch it anymore because I was connected with Rhaenyra and the actress
Oh,
that played
God.
Rhaenyra.
I thought she
did
was
a
great.
fantastic job.
Yeah.
And then wasn't the justification that we have to make aging believable?
So what did they age total? 16
I think it was like 15 years.
15,
15-ish
16
years, right, yeah.
Because you had when, yeah, I think it was about that because they aged, children were born, they've aged.
Somebody was always pregnant.
Some,
always.
oh, God. Well,
Always.
I mean, back then.
It's like the pregnancy show.
What were women for? And we got intro to early abortions. We got C-sections. We really dove deep into the beginnings of the controlling of women and the men making the choices of them. Because, but thoroughly, I agree. We could, just wrinkle a little bit. Because you and I, like, maybe 15 to 30, do we look slightly
Otto
different?
got a haircut.
Looking fine.
Daemon got a haircut.
Terrible.
Viserys got CGI until he was like a living skeleton. But you had to change Rhaenyra
Your
because
core cast.
that was how you
Yeah.
made it believable. I just
Allison,
didn't buy it.
Rhaenyra.
I didn't buy it.
The Rhaenyra's husband, and a couple other ones. Oh, because Kristen Cole stayed the same too.
Yeah.
And he was relatively like their
They
age.
didn't even age him.
No,
They
he
were like,
looked-
Christian, you're the one that stays.
Maybe she made him a bigger douchebag. I guess that gives you some age.
You're like a vampire. You don't age ever.
Yeah. So,
Anyway,
no,
that was
for
something
sure.
to me.
I agree with
so
that, 100%.
while we got I guess I'll separate it. In the beginning, I was definitely sold.
Okay.
I thought, man, this show's
First
really
3
good.
episodes, 4
It's
episodes.
going really well. It was through episode 6 or at episode 6 we got the
God,
change.
I guess my time frame of how long this. I know it was 10 episodes long, but at the end of the day, I felt like we were only with Rhaenyra, a young Rhaenyra, for only so long.
But I will say though that even though they did that,
Okay.
I was so by the end of episode 10, I was like, oh yeah, that's Rhaenyra.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
we
Actress
accepted
changed?
that.
Wait, someone changed?
And she grew on you.
Oh yeah,
I saw her when she
That
besides
actress-
the last scene.
such a good job.
I think so. She had a big role to take.
And a hard task.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, we set this one girl up to be Rhaenyra. We took her out. Now you're just going to slide on in.
Yep.
And we
Earn
need
the
you
love
to
of the
kind of like
masses.
make sure that no one notices.
Good
And
luck.
it was an
And
impossible
Godspeed.
task, and she still took it on, did it, and I thought to a level that was on par with the first actress.
So if we had young Rhaenyra for 6 episodes, we had older Rhaenyra for 4?
Yeah.
So she had less of a time to make an impact. I
think 5.
5. So she had less of a time to make an impact on the viewers. And I think by episode 9, 10, sold?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I was absolutely sold on that change, and that was the biggest gripe to me. The
Okay.
other
and I
big-
agree. I think it was a hard pill for people to swallow.
The other one for me was how many time jumps there were. They
I
had to
hated that.
set up so much to make the war believable.
But why couldn't they just stretch it out? Do we need to? Now, granted, like before the last 6-year jump, you didn't
was
really
slow.
have it was very slow because not like what's going on. They obviously Viserys was the peaceful king. Like he was. I forget.
And
what
can we
they
talk
titled
about the
him.
fact that he was a great king?
I thought so. He kept the peace. Everybody loved him, and they listened and respected. He was why should your king always be at war?
Exactly. Yeah.
That
Is he a
tells
war
true
general
leader.
or a king?
That's a true leader. If you've kept the peace, especially Westeros is pretty big.
I thought Viserys, the thing I kept coming back to was he just tries his best.
Yeah.
He doesn't make the right decisions all the time, but God damn it,
No,
he's going to try his best to come up with a solution that's going to appease as many people as possible.
And I liked him as an actor.
I did too.
I thought he did it well. I thought he was believable as a
Fantastic.
king. Yes, I did look up what he was dying from, and he was leprosy. He was dying from leprosy, which is a bacteria infection. Now fully treatable. But
the
back
Maesters
then,
didn't know what to do with it.
Maesters did not know what to do, and that slowly eats away at you.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I think they portrayed that graphically, but great. I thought that was like when you took that mask off and you saw like
He's having a hard time.
that's a king.
Yeah.
He's leading us right now, and Matt Smith as Damon. I think I like him as an actor. Still in debate.
I thought as Damon,
For
my
sure.
God,
I loved him.
so good.
And like you just grew to love Damon so much more. But you respected what he was. He was a dick.
But he was still like a loose cannon.
Yep.
Yeah, he
and
was
he did
very
what he wanted.
manic.
And you saw that near the end too in episode 10, and I was like, fantastic. All right, now my question is: we were talking about goods and bads. Favorite part?
Okay, I have to get this out there. There is a scene at the end of the season. I don't care if this is a spoiler. You're watching a review of the season. The fight scene with Vagar at the end was, I think, in my opinion, the best live action scene with a dragon ever made. I mean, and there's a couple good ones
I
that
think
come
they
to mind.
depicted dragons overall great.
Smaug I thought he was a great dragon in the
Okay.
Lord of the Rings,
Yep.
the Hobbit movies.
Yes.
Remember the dragon the zombie dragon in Game of Thrones that
was
had the
melting down
the wall.
The wall. Yep.
I thought that was a really damn good
Because
scene
it's
with
hard.
a dragon.
I would imagine it's hard to create a dragon.
I could not breathe while that scene was going on. When Vagar was behind the clouds and the lightning like lit up Vagar, and Arax was trying to fly away, and
I
by
thought
the
he was
end of
gonna
it,
get away.
My mouth was on the floor, and I was like, "That's the Game of Thrones that I loved."
I thought
back in the
Arax
day.
should have just. You know where he should have stayed? In the crack.
Oh,
That big-
absolutely.
That big bastard wasn't coming
No,
down
Vagar
there.
was not coming down there,
And he
I
lost
liked
track of him and all that kind of a time.
that so much that I went and I did deep dives on all the dragons. I wanted to know their history.
okay,
I wanted
okay.
to know their riders in the past. That's the definition to me of like selling me on lore. Is like
yeah.
make me so invested to where after I like the show ends, I go and I research about those dragons or whatever that lore is.
Did you pay attention to Rhaenyra? Because like everybody was talking about how she wasn't going to war, didn't want to start a war. And
I thought it was genius. I loved it.
Damon wanted. They have dragons. Use the fucking dragons.
But
But she said, this was the part I was trying to get to. She said that when humans go to war, humans go to war. When dragons go to war, everything burns.
and that's what Rhaenyra was trying to.
But you saw that with the Vagar and the Arax fight. They both riders lost control of their dragons.
Arax or Ajax, it's one of the two.
It's Arax, I believe.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I put it on subtitles. But they both lost control of their dragons.
If there's so if there's something
that's
I
what would
want to see
happen.
more in season 2, it's the personalities of the dragons.
I think you're going to because
Yes.
you're relying so heavily because Damon is getting them together. Well, let's talk about the dragon he found. That
we don't. I looked at this.
Okay, you
we
did- I
don't
was
know
hoping
who it
you
is.
did.
There are 3 dragons at
that's like I'm
Dragonstone
assuming that's the brood mother.
that are called wild dragons. They have
Right,
never
he
had a rider.
referenced them.
So there are 3 of those. One of them's called the Cannibal.
Okay.
and it's like the biggest dragon there.
I'd say that's that.
There's so many
because
that
he was singing the song. I'm like, where is this guy going right now? And then I saw him like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
And he
if-
lived.
I want to see more dragons and their personalities. I
think you're going
and I
to.
know we're going to get that. And dragon fights.
Both
I'm
sides
so ready
have
for it.
dragons. They both have riders
just love
for the
dragons so
dragons.
much.
But it was. I think for House of the Dragon, and we talked about the likes and dislikes, and I really would like to. I truly would think there's a season 2 coming. I know that got some backlash here.
No, there
and there
definitely is a season 2.
And I was in love, and I'm ready to see how in love you are with this layman's review.
All right, let's go. And 3, 2, 1.
Ooh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay. At the point of time of the actress switch, actually, it was Alicent too, right?
Oh yeah.
So there wasn't just Rhaenyra.
Let me tell you, by the end of the thing,
I
I
thought they were the same
hated
person.
that bitch.
But I thought they were the same person.
What do you mean?
They were so similar, like the actresses. It was hard for me to think
like
about what
Alice-
the old
yeah.
one looked like.
Yeah,
But-
they were similar.
So at that point of the actors change, it was a D.
Absolutely, I agree.
I was
Yep.
like, you did
was
not
hard.
just do this.
Yep.
And then the justification I didn't buy it. I thought there was an issue with the actresses, and I was like, they had no choice but to do it. But the explanation I had read about trying to make the jump
Right.
believable and like bridging the gap so that the audience was following the
So we
train of
know
thought.
that a time passed.
It was
Like,
a D.
that was the big thing.
It was a D.
Oh yeah, I think the abrupt pull the blanket out. I agree. It was like a D. I liked the story, but then I was like, okay, how are we gonna? Everything we ever learned and brought up was still when she was young, and now we're like 10 years older, and she's a bitch now. And I truly I didn't like her as a character at that
Allison?
point. No,
Oh,
Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra. Yeah,
I
Rhaenyra.
thought she lost her power. She lost her like and her drive. Like I really felt she became the beat dog of the world. And because what I liked about Rhaenyra was she took no shit.
I
when
would
she was
love
young.
to come back and do it. I have so much to say about this season.
Oh,
that
I'm happy with
if
doing
we
more with
sat down and like dove deep and like did like our deep analysis
Yeah.
on the characters, and I want to talk about the dragons, I would totally be here for that. But since it was a D, they had to like prove to me that it was still worth watching. And my God,
it. And that dragon fight.
can we talk about like how Game of Thronesy the stillbirth scene was?
Oh God. Well, first off,
Christ Almighty, man!
wow, she just reached up there.
I mean, the sound effect of it hitting the floor,
Yeah.
even, and like, it was.
It was intense.
That's
Game of
just-
Thrones hit us
that
pretty
was
good.
just- yeah.
And House of the Dragon did not.
There were a
make us-
couple scenes this season that were like, we want you to sit in this for a minute.
Yeah.
Keep looking.
Well, they
Keep looking.
and it
Looking
was
away,
all,
motherfucker. Keep looking.
It was all women in pregnancy. That was some of the darkest, most like emotional sections of the show when Daemon's first wife, or second, because he killed the first one, but the second wife was going to have the same problem as that Viserys' wife did.
And she chose to go out with her dragon.
You know what? Not a bad
Badass.
choice. And I can imagine it's quick, painless, but like the dragon didn't want to do it. You even saw emotion in dragons.
Well, they have a connection to the writers.
Yeah.
But I love the fact at the end of the season where early on, I think it was episode 1, Viserys was telling Rhaenyra it was a mistake to mess with dragons. We do
mean, it
not
was.
own them. They just tolerate us, basically. And at the end, in episode 10, you see an example where Vhagar was like, fuck you. I'm going to do what I want.
This little thing on my back, be like, what are you going to do?
I don't think, unless Arax, hit that candle in her eye, I don't think she would have killed him. But as soon as like he showed any aggression towards her, she was like, "Oh, okay."
Right, and that's where they became their natural instinct. Be like, okay,
And
I
their
gotta kill this
personalities
problem.
kicked in.
Yeah,
It's a B, and it's a rather larger. I cannot wait for a season 2.
I was
Usually
happy to
for a B, I'm like, that was pretty good. And if a season 2 comes, I'd love to see it. But this is like, I really want to see.
this is a dug out of the bottom of a D, hit that B, and if
Yeah.
it would have had a few more episodes, I think it would have reached that A.
and I think a season 2 with a lot more action.
You're jumping right into the war.
Yeah, that is going to have the potential to be a really good season.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, guys, until next time, though, that was our review of House of the Dragon. We both liked it. Yeah, let us know what
Great.
you thought about the season in the comments below. Was the actors change that big of a deal to you as it was to me and Ryan as well? If not, let us know why. And yeah, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.